Welcome back to my channel, and as you can tell from the title of this video, this is how I found out I was pregnant with baby number 2. So I'm just gonna jump right into this, just because I don't want this video to be too long. So let's get right into it. Basically, it was February of 2017. I was working full-time at a job, and I don't understand why I didn't think for a second that I was pregnant, just because now looking back on it, I realized a whole lot of the symptoms were there. I just wasn't acknowledging it. So basically, I had woke up one day, I was checking my period tracker, and I realized that I had missed my period. I didn't think anything of it. The only sole reason why I didn't think anything of it was because a couple months prior to that, I had went to see my primary care doctor, and my doctor had told me that he believes that there was a chance that I had PCOS, just because a lot of the symptoms were there. And basically, he was telling me that he wanted me to go see a specialist. I had scheduled an appointment to go see a specialist in January, but then I had to reschedule because my work schedule had interfered with that appointment, and I couldn't take off of work because it was right after the holiday season. So I ended up scheduling that appointment for March. Well, the crazy thing is that in February, like I said, I had missed my period, which was very common because I do have a really irregular cycle, so I really didn't think anything of it. But, you know, my husband had went out and he bought me some pregnancy tests, and he was like, hey, just take it, you know. It's not going to hurt anybody, but if anything, I think you should take it just because, then at least you'll know for sure. So I ended up taking the pregnancy test, I believe February 28th was the day. Yeah, I believe, February 26th, I ended up taking the pregnancy test. And I only ended up taking that pregnancy test, I remember it was a Saturday morning, and I only ended up taking that pregnancy test just because that same night I had like a weird dream that I was pregnant, and I was like, that's weird. So like, I woke up just to give myself a peace of mind. I decided to take the test. It was like 8:30 in the morning, and I had just worked the night prior to that, so that just goes to show you guys. But I ended up taking the pregnancy test, and immediately it came out positive. Like, immediately. Like, the freaking control line didn't even light up yet. Like, the test line just lit up, and then the control line did. I was like, oh crap. So I didn't really want to believe it at first, and I was like, no way. So I ended up taking a first response digital, the ones that say yes or no, and it definitely came back saying yes. So I was like, what? And then for a second I kind of like sat in the bathroom and like wanted to like let everything sink in for a second. I was like, wait, no way. And so then I went and I woke up my husband and I showed him the test, and he was like, oh my god, we're gonna be parents again. And he was like super excited about it, and I started to cry because I was really excited, but like I was just like, I couldn't believe it. Like, it was just like a miracle. Like, it was literally like a miracle. Then he was like, you know, at the time my grandmother was living with us, so he was like, I dare you to go show your grandmother. And I was like, okay. So I went into the other room, and she was already awake, and I showed it to her, and she got up and she hugged me, and she was like, oh my god, finally. And you know, I was just like, yeah. And then we were just hugging, and I started crying, and she started crying, and we were just sitting there hugging, crying in the middle of her room. And it was a really emotional time for me, due to the fact, like I said, I had went to my doctor, and my doctor was basically telling me, you know, that I could have some type of infertility issue, and he wanted me to see a specialist, which a couple years ago, back when I had first turned 18 and I was seeing my doctor, I had gotten some news that I might have an infertility issue, and I'm not going to get into depth about that, but that was basically when I was 18, and at the time, I feel like it was kind of like a whatever type of situation, because I had just gotten out of a really bad relationship, so I really wasn't worried about it as much. But then, you know, obviously after I met Matt, that was like a huge factor. So, some of the symptoms that I can't believe that I just kind of like let go right over my head was the fact that I was like really exhausted, but then again that ties into the fact that I was working a whole lot, so I kind of just thought maybe it had something to do with me working a whole lot. But no, that was probably one of the symptoms. Like, it would get to the point where I was like, me and Matt would take our breaks at the same time, our lunch breaks, and I would be in the car and I'd eat like tons. That was another thing. I was like stuffing my face whenever I was eating. Like, it wasn't like I was eating very often, but when I was eating like just regular meals like I would be like, you know, any other day, I was like stuffing my face. And I remember I would sit there, eat my entire meal, and then just like want to fall asleep for the next half an hour. And he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, just really tired. Maybe I don't feel well. I don't know." That was one. Another symptom that I got, and this is like TMI, but they say you get like this like a vagina lightning feeling, and I definitely called that. That was a little weird. I was breaking out in the face a whole lot, but I don't feel like that was like a symptom to tell me I was pregnant. But my missed period was definitely something that I kind of was just like, I didn't really expect for it to happen, but then again I was like, oh well, missed period obviously is like one of the first signs of being pregnant. So that is how I found out I was pregnant. And if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in my next video. Till then, see you guys. Bye. Bye.